I would never in a million years do that, so I was unprepared that that happens all the time. I've come up with ideas, believe it or not, that were illegal. You'll even have sometimes your competitors putting things negative about you on the internet to kind of tear you down.
Right.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
We were talking about problems that...
big mistakes.
Mistakes you made when you were kind of a newbie to all of this.
Yeah, so like everybody else, I made tons of mistakes. I feel like I made every mistake that you possibly could make when having a business. Like, I would get refunds and, you know, no customer service person. And, you know, you just really kind of get started in something and you just go. Because that's kind of my attitude, as you can kind of see. I'm always like, just go for it. Yeah. You know, I have this idea. My mentor always told me, done is better than perfect. And so I loved that saying, and I always was about that saying, just get it done. And so, of course, when you just get it done, sometimes in your business, you are going to run across a lot of issues. You're going to come across maybe a customer that's not satisfied, and you have no plan whatsoever as to how you handle that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just, as problems rose up, I was able to create solutions. But I don't think they were mistakes. It was not lack of preparation, because I don't feel like you could prepare for every single mistake that you have.
Yeah.
However, starting to think about, you know, what is your policy on refunds? Do you give refunds? You know what I mean? How long, how many days, how many months, you know, things of that nature. Accepting credit cards. This was a huge one that I did not know about, and hopefully most people can learn about an easier way than I did. So, for example, if you accept a credit card in your business and someone disputes that charge because they don't want to pay you now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that was really such a thing, because I never did that. I never bought something and then disputed the charge on my credit card.
Right, sure.
I would never in a million years do that. So I was unprepared that that happens all the time in a business where there are unscrupulous people that they got your product, they got your service, and now they don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
And creating policies around that, you know what I mean? Planning for the worst. So if someone disputes a charge, for example, even if they're absolutely wrong, you know, they ate your hamburger, you know what I mean? They ate it and it's delicious. And now they go to their credit card a day later and they said, no, I didn't charge that.
Yeah,
that was
wasn't
not me. That wasn't me. That still reflects poorly on you as a business owner. One, if you don't respond. So that was a thing, that every time someone disputes a credit card charge, you must respond to it. You have to have a policy. You have to, hey, this is what they ate, here's what they did, here's the receipt. And just a lot of those nuances that really trip me up, because if you don't respond to those things, you won't be able to accept credit cards.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Did you have to incorporate, or at this point, do you have legal counsel that works for you? I mean, obviously they would just be, you know, you're a client.
Yeah.
But I mean, at a certain point in your business, you said, I've got to have lawyers involved.
At a certain point. I think I should have done that earlier. So we're talking about a big mistake. I didn't think I needed an attorney until someone sued me.
Right.
You know, that was the thing. And that was wrong thinking.
Or your next drug deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, you
get
get
pinched
right,
for it.
exactly.
Sure.
Now you need a lawyer. Those are the things when I thought you needed a lawyer. But no, you need a lawyer to help you draw up a lot of the things that you're going to do, a lot of your policies, even to advise you. I've come up with ideas, believe it or not, that were illegal.
Can you give us any examples? Do you remember any?
I'll give you an example. I was telling my lawyer, one of the policies with the refunds, just talking about as an example, and no refunds, you only can get stock in my business, or something like that is what I was saying. Like, instead of your money back to your card, I'll give you some type of stock or something that was like a store credit. Something I came up with, which is totally not legal, not allowed.
Really? You know? But so it was just an idea that you had.
It was just an idea. This will work, you know, because I didn't have a store to do a store credit. You know, now I have books and a few other things, so you can give a store credit. But before you have those things, you can only just give them their money back. You can't necessarily rectify it. And so those were some of the ideas that I needed help with an attorney. Like, if someone's not happy, if someone is making a false claim against your business, You know, the internet is real. You got to protect your reputation. You'll even have sometimes your competitors putting things negative about you on the internet to kind of tear you down.
Right.
So just little things like that.
Yeah.
You definitely should seek legal counsel and an accountant a lot earlier than I did.
Were you ever able to avail yourself of like boilerplate documents that are just out there in the public domain, or did you Google legal docs?
In the beginning, I used a lot of those documents that were out there. Like if you Googled, a contract, for example,
Right.
I did. I used a lot of that stuff for many years. And
that works,
and it
doesn't
does
it?
work.
Yeah.
And it does work. And I'm never going to, again, I'm not an attorney, so I don't advise people to do that. But at the same time, it's what I did and it worked. And then as you grow and you get more money in your business, then you can get an attorney to draft your own contracts,
Right.
Things that I have now. But in the beginning, I totally Googled contracts. I totally, against recommendation of attorney, I edited contracts and kind of did them myself, and it worked for a while. And then as you get to a certain point, if you're making $400,000 a year, even those numbers you got to start investing into.
Is your attorney a family member?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
And what about your accountant?
Definitely also not a family member. Definitely referrals from more successful people too. That was another great piece of advice is get attorneys that you can't afford. Get accountants that you can't afford. Don't think that, I only have $50, so I have to get this guy. You could get someone better and maybe just pay him $50 and then that's what he takes each month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that you can get a better quality of attorney, a better quality of accountant, because you're going somewhere. You know what I mean? I feel like if you have a vision of where you're going, you should also pick lawyers, accountants, people around you that are to that level, not just where you are.
Right.
Wow, that was an amazing episode. If you want my new book, you can get it absolutely free at @Noelle'sFreeBook.com. Get my new book, Real Estate Millionaire Secrets, absolutely free. You just cover the shipping and handling. Go to Noelle'sFreeBook.com. That's NOELLE with an S, Noelle'sFreeBook.com. I have poured my heart into this book and I am teaching you all about real estate, how I started with bankruptcy, bad credit, no money, and how you can do the exact same thing too. Check out my new book because I want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle, to your success. That was building in me, and I really had to get into my faith.
Everything's still good. I still feel connected.
Yeah.
I have love in my life.